Good evening, my dear friends, my dear students. This time I am back once again, myself Dr. Manushi. Today we will be discussing on galvanic cell and electrochemical series. Now, what does a cell means? A cell actually is a device which converts chemical energy to electrical energy. A cell is a device which converts chemical energy into electrical energy. The other name of the galvanic cell is called the voltaic cell. To be more precise, we can say that cell is a device which converts chemical energy to electrical energy or vice versa. Today what we will be discussing is galvanic cell or the voltaic cell which converts chemical energy to electrical energy. Now first let us understand the structure of a galvanic cell. It comprises of two different chambers consisting of two different metals dipped into their individual solution, the concentration of the solution being aqueous 1 mole. Now we will be discussing about that particular galvanic cell which uses zinc and copper as electrodes. We can see from the structure that zinc rod is dipped into its own solution, that is zinc sulfate, the concentration of the solution being aqueous 1 molar, and in the right hand side copper rod is dipped into copper sulfate solution, the concentration of the copper sulfate solution being aqueous 1 molar. And these two are connected by the terminals of a battery with a wire fitted with a device called galvanometer. Now galvanometer is a device which has a pointer and which by deflecting its pointer shows the direction of current flow. Now when we talk about galvanic cell, we have to remember the thumb rule of the working principle of the galvanic cell. That is, we have to remember the word LOAN, L-O-A-N. L stands for left, O stands for oxidation, A stands for anode, and N signifies negative. That means the metal which is in the left hand side will be assigned as anode, and in anode there will be oxidation. O stands for oxidation, and this anode will be assigned negative. Obviously in the right hand side there will be reduction. It will be assigned cathode with a positive sign. Now what happens, since we have in the left hand side zinc metal, and it will undergo oxidation, only one reaction can happen, and that is zinc will be releasing electron converted to Zn2+. That means from 0 its oxidation number will increase to +2 and it will be releasing electron, which signifies that it is undergoing oxidation. On the other hand, copper will be accepting these released electrons from zinc, and its oxidation state will decrease from +2 to 0. It signifies that as the oxidation number decreases and it accepts electron, it signifies that copper necessarily undergoes reduction. Now what is the half cell reaction? If we consider these two separate chambers in the left hand side and in the right hand side are called half cells, and together they are called the complete galvanic cell. Now if we consider the half cell reactions, what we find is Zn releasing 2 electron getting converted to Zn2+ aqueous 1 molar, and copper 2+ accepting these 2 electrons is transferred to or changed to transformed to copper solid. These are the two half cell reactions, and combining or clubbing these two half cell reactions, what we get is a complete cell reaction, that is Zn plus copper sulfate getting converted to Zn sulfate plus copper. Copper sulfate signifies that copper is having in its oxidation number +2, from where it is getting converted to metallic copper, that is oxidation number 0. From +2 its oxidation number is reducing to 0, and Zn means metallic zinc, which is having an oxidation number of 0, is converted to ZnSO4. That means Zn2+ plus SO4 2-. That means it releases 2 electron and its oxidation number increases from 0 to +2. So we can see it is well explained that zinc is undergoing oxidation and copper is undergoing reduction, and at the same time some amount of heat is also evolved. Now if we consider this galvanic cell, what it is supposed to do? With the aid of this chemical chain, that is zinc getting converted to Zn2 plus and copper 2 plus getting converted to copper, there is a release of electron, and naturally this electron flows from zinc chamber to copper chamber, and obviously the current should flow in the opposite direction, as we all know. But this is ideally, this may be the ideal case, but this is not actually happening. The moment we connect these two metallic rods or metallic electrodes with the terminals of a battery, the first moment it will start working, the current will flow momentarily, and immediately at the next moment the flow of current will stop. This is the practical scenario. But why it happens so? Why it is so? It is supposed to ideally flow electricity in the opposite direction to which the electron is flowing, but it is not doing the same. Why? There are some reasons. The reason being, Zn continuously is getting converted to Zn2 plus, releasing 2 electrons. So surrounding Zn electrode, zinc metallic rod, there will be a number of Zn2 plus ions. And in surrounding the copper electrode, there will be number of electrons. This Zn2 plus ions surrounding zinc electrode will be repelling each other and will not allow further Zn to get converted to Zn2 plus, releasing electron. That means the release of electron will stop after some time, after some moment, after a few moments, and naturally as the release of electron and the flow of electron will be stopped, current flowing will also be stopped. This is the actual scenario. Now how to resolve this problem? How to resolve this problem? The solution of the problem is to insert a device in between these two chambers called salt bridge. What is a salt bridge? A salt bridge is nothing but an inverted U-tube, the two ends of which are dipped into, one end being in zinc sulfate solution and the other end being in copper sulfate solution. Moreover, this salt bridge contains KCl or KNO3 or NaNO3 like inert materials. I'm saying that these are inert materials, but actually they are inert to this particular cell reaction. These materials are not at all inert. They are inert only with respect to this cell reaction. And either KCl or KNO3 or NaNO3 which are inserted inside the salt bridge will be mixed with a chemical called gelatin or agar-agar. I suppose you all know what a gelatin or an agar-agar functions for. These are the chemicals which are used to keep the solids in molten state. And once this KCl or KNO3 or NaNO3, whichever we put inside the salt bridge, is mixed with gelatin or agar-agar, they will be remaining in the form of ions. That means K plus and Cl minus, or K plus or NO3 minus, and like this. So what will happen? What is the function of this salt bridge? As we know, there are a number of Zn2 plus ions surrounding this zinc electrode. This Cl minus of KCl will come into action. It will come to this side by the attraction of so many Zn2 plus ions and will be forming ZnCl2. On the other hand, there are a number of electrons surrounding copper electrode. So the K plus of KCl will be attracted towards these electrons surrounding the copper rod and will be neutralized, taking up electron as copper, metallic copper. Now one thing we have to remember, that the mouth, the two ends of the salt bridge are plugged with cotton or glass wool. Again there is a question, why they are plugged with cotton or glass wool? What would happen if they are not plugged with cotton or glass wool? If they are not plugged at all, then ZnSO4 by the capillary action will move upward within this salt bridge, and copper sulfate on the other hand, due to the capillary action, will move upward in the salt bridge, and these two solutions will mix up. So we are supposed to avoid this. Then we could have plugged it with a cork or something solid like that. Then what would have been the case? Then the ions would not come within this solution. So it is plugged with such semi-permeable membrane like cotton or glass wool so that the ions can penetrate this plugging, but the liquids cannot move up to avoid the mixing of these two liquids. Now this is the principle of the salt bridge. Now what are the observations what we can find during this working of the galvanic cell? We will find that galvanic cell is working fine, but even after inserting salt bridge, at some point of time, after some time, the salt bridge will stop working. We are confused. Again the salt bridge stopped working. Why? Can anyone guess why? Let me tell you. This is because the inert materials which were kept inside the salt bridge like KCl or KNO3 or NaNO3, they will be used up and will be finished at some point of time. And as these inert materials will be finished up, again the release of electron will be hindered, because there will be a number of association of Zn2 plus ions which will be repelling each other and will stop releasing electron and moving electron from zinc electrode to copper electrode, and naturally the current flow will be stopped. They will be consumed, and that is why the batteries, cells are nothing but the batteries of the TV remote or wall clock, that needs to be replaced time to time, as this the material inside the salt bridge gets utilized. Second observation what we will find is, at some point of time the zinc electrode will be corroded and the copper electrode will be thickened. Why so? Because the metallic zinc from the zinc electrode will be used up to form Zn2 plus. They will come into the solution, and the copper 2 plus which were in solution, they will be taking up electron to form metallic copper which will be deposited along the copper rod. That is why the zinc rod will be corroded and the copper rod will be thickened. The third observation is, after some point of time, we will find that the concentration of zinc sulfate will increase and the concentration of copper sulfate will decrease. This is because the metallic zinc releases 2 electrons in each time and forms Zn2 plus, and this Zn2 plus comes into the solution, thereby increasing the concentration of the solution. And on the other hand, the copper 2 plus from the solution takes up the released electron and forms metallic copper which gets deposited on the copper metallic rod, and due to this the number of copper 2 plus ions present in the solution will be reduced, thereby reducing the concentration of the copper sulfate solution. And what else we will find? We will find the solution in the two half cells will remain neutral. That means equal number of cation and anions will be involved in this case. So these are the observations of the galvanic cell. Now coming to the cell representation. Is it possible every time that whenever we will be discussing about the galvanic cell, we will be drawing such a complicated drawing every time, and then we have to make people understand about this galvanic cell? Or whenever we will be solving numericals, is it possible every time we will be drawing all this cumbersome structure of the galvanic cell and then we will go for the numerical solving? No, it's not possible. So there is a way out. There is a very simple way of representing the galvanic cell. What is that? We have to start from the left hand side. In the left hand side at the top, what is there? From first we start with the zinc metal, that is solid. So we write Zn in the bracket S. S stands for solid. Then a stroke which is getting converted to Zn2 plus. That means zinc getting converted to Zn2 plus. So first we write Zn within bracket S for solid, then we put a stroke, then we put a vertical line, and then we write Zn2 plus. Zinc is getting converted to Zn2 plus, and that's what we are writing. And we know Zn2 plus is in solution and the concentration of the solution is aqueous 1 molar. So first what we write? First we write Zn within bracket solid, a vertical line, and then Zn2 plus aqueous 1 molar. Then there is a salt bridge. To represent salt bridge, we draw two parallel vertical lines. This represents the salt bridge in between. After salt bridge, what happens? The copper 2 plus from copper sulfate solution takes up electron. So we write copper 2 plus, which has having the concentration aqueous 1 molar within bracket, then again a vertical line, and then copper solid. So copper 2 plus is getting reduced to form metallic copper, and that's what we write in the right hand side after the salt bridge. Copper 2 plus, concentration of the solution aqueous 1 molar, so within bracket we write aqueous 1 molar, and then we put a vertical line, and then we write where it is which it is converted to, that is copper solid. This is the representation of the galvanic cell. And with this I would like to finish up my note saying a big thank you to you all. Thank you so much.